no jokes this morning. It's
No jokes?
no, been a long weekend.
I'm living in England. The weather is just a permanent joke. I've got water, sweat pouring down the back of my neck at the moment. I'm in danger of shorting out the internet.
A lot.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 3 Do Who, the Doctor Who podcast that asks the question, how much Dugga can a Dugga do?
No.
I did not need an earworm for the entire podcast.
No.
With me today are my two favorite Whovians, Mike and James. How are you guys today?
I'm recovered.
I'm in the weather here, by the way, is kind of like 80% humidity and kind of I can hear the chickens complaining. Everything around me is chaos. So I'm relying on you two for some semblance of normality. But given that I've spent the morning researching oral and dicks for tonight.
Wait, what?
Oh, if I can, yes, there's going to be a certain amount of oral and dicks later on.
Oh, okay.
It is interesting.
Are they spotted?
They're very plentiful.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Who doesn't love plentiful dicks?
Sadly, some of them are quite short. But
eat a bag of dicks, as they say. Anyway, for listeners that
set
don't
him off already.
I know. For listeners that don't know, Eric and I are licensed pyrotechnicians, and we shot off some really big fireworks the day before yesterday. So
that was a resounding success.
That's why we were tired.
Yes. And we're now booking them for Guy Fawkes for England. We're going to put them underneath the Houses of Parliament again. And this time, can you please be bloody successful?
Okay, yes.
Well, if we'd done it, it would be.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
How English is that? Guy Fawkes celebrating failure.
I mean,
you got to take your celebrations when you can.
Yeah.
Right? He tried.
Yeah.
He gets an A for effort.
Yes.
All right. So let's get on to some Who news before we get demonetized.
And I promise I've made it easy for you to read today.
Okay.
Because I didn't put the author's name on the book.
So first off is coming soon, new adventures for the 15th Doctor and Belinda from Titan Comics. So there's this just dropped on July 4th. And it says, join the 15th Doctor, Shidigatwa, and his companion in time and space, Belinda Chandra, as they encounter new enemies and new allies aboard an inescapable prison facility in a forgotten part of the universe in the brand new adventure from Titan Comics, The Prison Paradox.
Oh, they're coming to UK.
Yeah. That looks really good. The illustrations are really fun. I'll put a capture of the illustrations up on screen so y'all can see them, and they look really like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen too many of the pictures so far, but the ones I have seen, I have to say, I think they're actually amongst some of the best of the Titan artwork.
Yeah, I really think it's pretty darn good. The likenesses are good. The style is kind of poppy. It's got a really good almost 3D look to it.
And once you've done the rest of the news, I have actually got a question about this, but it will tie in with one of the other news articles as well. So,
well, I mean, you're the one that put the other news in here, so
yeah,
you know what the other news is. Anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know the answer to the question, though. That's the thing.
Okay, 42.
Worryingly, that could be the actual answer, but never mind. We shall come to it in a minute.
All right. So, also introduced a new novel for the pair. How would you like to go cruising with the 15th Doctor? The TARDIS lands aboard a luxury space liner owned by an interstellar shipping magnate. I don't know. This sounds like a familiar plot line. And the magnate is named Marilyn Moon. Moonroe?
On the cover,
yeah,
there is an android Marilyn Monroe with half her face as thing. Okay. It does unfortunately resemble the Marilyn Monroe bot from Red Dwarf many decades ago.
Moon Cruise offers its wealthy passengers an up-close views of astounding cosmic wonders, and the Doctor and Belinda are soon high rolling it on the top deck. But there is a sinister side to life on board. What is the secret of the smiling blonde haired mannequins? What happens to the cruise ship workers when they go off shift? The doctor soon learns that not all prisons come with bars on the windows. While Belinda faces one of the greatest cruelties in the universe, a zero pay contract in retail, and hospitality. Ooh, that sounds just terrible. That does sound like torture. That can never be broken. Yeah, definitely torture.
Mm-hmm.
The Moon Cruise comes out in hardback on November 13th, and expect an audiobook version around the same time. If
Okay.
Class 2 is more... Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
So the question,
Mhm.
because yeah, we're going to get to Belinda and stuff in a bit as well, but
Right.
the most recent series, season, whatever they're calling it, it's one of those ones where the stories feel really kind of tightly packed together.
Yeah, back to back to back to back. It doesn't feel like there's any distance in between them like
Yeah.
in a normal season of Who.
So in the last batch of books, okay, Fear of Death by Drowning was a companion-free one. It was just the shooty doctor.
Right.
Spectral Scream had Belinda, and it did actually. I checked. I did read it. I did because I promised I would. It does reference the Vindicator and the ongoing stuff as well. But yeah, so we're going to have Spectral Scream. We're going to have this new one in November. We've got various Doctor Who magazine comic strips. We've now got the Titan comic strips. Where in season 2, pardon me, is all this kind of extra Doctor and Belinda stuff? Kind of logic.
Because it does not seem like any time passes between each episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's with the Ruby season and with all of the other seasons, you do get the impression that there are sizable gaps between the episodes. But this one, it's just like, yeah. And it kind of, to me, it kind of goes against a little bit of the ethos of the arc. This idea that basically, the Doctor's in a rush to get Belinda home. If you suddenly find that along with the TV stories, they've had another 20 adventures.
Right.
So,
well, they are time travelers.
Yeah, but like the show did not really leave gaps. It seemed like they went back to back to back each episode, where they were like jumping from one time to the next and starting right there. A lot of times, if you watch a lot of the old classic Who, it's kind of like ambiguous about how much time has passed between each story, unless it's like something that they're trying to connect as a two-parter or something like that.
Well, yeah, and one of the things I've noticed on the show is when you see them in the TARDIS and then you see them exit the TARDIS, if they're wearing different clothes coming out of the TARDIS after they just did a hard cut from walking towards the door.
I don't think I've ever seen them leave the TARDIS in different clothes.
They did in this episode because it was Stark.
In which one? Which episode?
The latest at the last episode, the finale.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah, they walked out and it was like, wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
What happened in between walking towards the door and walking out of the TARDIS?
Are you thinking about the house scene at the end?
No, this was like towards the beginning.
No, because he wasn't in the TARDIS.
He wasn't in the TARDIS at the beginning.
What am I thinking of? Pardon me.
That's what we're trying to find out.
It's been a long week.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now that we haven't answered that question.
Yeah.
You can cut all of that if you want.
No. I think.
Why would I do that?
So it's not the and finally. You got the season 13 stuff first. You skipped one.
What the heck?
What?
Oh, yeah, I did skip one again. So if classic Doctor Who is more your thing, oh my God, we're professional podcasters.
Are we?
Then just announced is the season 13 collection, or for the America release, 4th Doctor season 2. All of the episodes have been remastered for this set. That also features brand new extras to accompany those from the original DVD releases. There's rare footage from conventions, a documentary about Ian Martyr, locations revisited, and according to those in the know on social media, the PDF paperwork will give new insight into the controversial past faces seen in The Brain of Morbius.
Yeah. the reason I know that those in the know say this stuff because I question them about it.
Excellent.
No, it's one of these things. If you were kind of, especially in England, a fan in the 80s and 90s, as you can see from the kind of the bookcases behind me, there were just 1 or 2 reference books published. And the further we go, the more time passes, and the more of these brilliant Blu-ray box sets we get with the PDF of the production files and everything, we find out that half the stuff in those 80s and 90s reference books are a complete load of wank. Yeah. And for those who don't know, it ties in with the Timeless Child.
Okay.
In The Brain of Morbius, there is a scene which may or may not show faces of the Doctor prior to William Hartnell. And the reason, I kind of questioned on this when it was announced that season 13 was coming out, is because over the years there's been quite a few different things put in reference books about whether or not the production team intended these faces to be previous Doctors or someone else. And of course, this idea of Doctors prior to William Hartnell is where the Timeless Child stuff comes from.
Right.
So basically, it had its origin pretty much in this story. And so, yeah, they are saying that, although there's a little bit in the PDF of the script that goes with the episodes, because they put the camera scripts and rehearsal scripts on the collections as well. Apparently, there is stuff in the production file which might clear some stuff up about what the intention was behind the scenes. But of course, just because it was intended to be one thing by the behind the scenes people, if it's vague and ambiguous on the screen, you are still free to interpret it how you wish. So it won't kind of solve anything, but at least it will give us an idea of what the production team intended. And by genuine bizarre coincidence, some of the stories of season 13 are going to be important coming up throughout the episodes. This episode, yeah.
Nice.
Right, and now come on, because this is the one that blew everyone's brains.
Yeah, I actually saw a little bit about this. I didn't put anything in the news because I knew you were probably going to put something in the news about this earlier. So finally, the new Doctor Who season has been announced, and maybe not the season you were expecting. It's one of those out of the blue moments that no one saw coming. The BBC have said they're actively looking for a production company to make Doctor Who the cartoon series. So the BBC is looking to create.
It's going to get worse, Mike. It's going to get worse.
And produce an animated version of Doctor Who for CBeebies, which will run independently from the main show. The BBC announced this new development for the Whoniverse in the middle of June, revealing plans for a brand new preschool animation series, which will see the Doctor's adventures come to CBeebies for the first time ever. The Doctor that will feature has not been named, or indeed if it will be one of the Time Lord's previous personas at all. More details on that when the BBC released them.
So wait a minute. Is this like a children's show, like an educational show? Because you said preschool animation series.
CBeebies is the BBC's and children's channel. I've got 2 children's channels. Really? There's CBBC and there's CBeebies. And CBeebies is the preschool age one. That's the kind of channel that puts out things like Teletubbies. Yeah.
Okay. That are really good.
Yeah, it's
not going to be in between, I don't think.
There's so many people going, what? Yeah, no one. This landed on social media out of the blue. There really wasn't any kind of build up from the BBC. It was just like wham! One day, the press release came out, and it was like there'd been no gossip about it. There'd been no rumors about it. But suddenly, and the fact they're looking for a production house to do it, it's just like, you've announced it and you don't have a production team for it.
Right. Well, I mean,
maybe they were hoping 3 little podcasters would come over and say, "We'll do it."
Well, I mean, I will say, even though, it seems weird that, preschool age children might be into this, they actually are. Every time I've gone to
Yeah.
a Comic-Con dressed as the Doctor, little kids, like tiny kids, recognize me as the Doctor and are like, the Doctor. And like, it's like, how the heck do you know who the Doctor is? You're barely old enough to walk.
Yeah.
Little kids do love the Doctor as well.
I think it's, as you say, I think it's either going to be acutely embarrassing or absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I mean, if they go like Muppet Babies, I thought Muppet Babies was going to be horrible, and actually, it's very cute and it's fun. There are a little bit of adult jokes in it.
Time Lord babies, we come from Doctor Who.
Oh, okay, you're not allowed to write the song for it.
It reminded me of the PC Babies song from South Park.
Oh God, no! Yeah, that wouldn't have been aimed at preschool kids.
No.
I mean, yeah. So it was announced, and then it's gone very quiet again. The general feeling is the BBC clearly still have an interest in producing Doctor Who if they're looking for and notice, because I use words from the official press release putting it in there, to run alongside or independently from the main series. So this isn't a replacement for it.
Just a augmentation.
So, on the positive side, it means that the BBC still think that Doctor Who is an ongoing thing. If they are looking, to do a second series, that implies that there will be a first series running. And yeah, as you say, it's either going to be genius or you will clench so hard your butt cheek swap sides.
Now they've done cartoons before with Doctor Who.
Not officially.
Well, no, there's that
right.
Doctor ones. Were those not?
Right. I suppose that the second one is a CGI thing, and I never think of CGI as cartoons.
But it was, though.
Yeah, so they did an episode. They did 2 episodes. One of them was very definitely aimed at kind of early teens, just because of the way it was broadcast and everything. But yeah, there's never been kind of like an official, actual cartoon series. There've been.
They were one-offs.
They were one-offs, yeah.
Okay.
Dreamland, the second one, Dreamland, the CGI one, was basically done to kind of help fill the year where Tennant wasn't available to do much. And yeah, the first one was done as a part of a different show. There was a kids show called Totally Doctor Who, which ran alongside all of the other ones, like Confidential and all that stuff. And basically, it was like a 3 or 4 minute segment. So that hour-long episode was actually broadcast in 12 or 13 segments.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't done as a one-off, literal, solid episode. That's why if you watch it as an episode, it's very juddery.
Yeah, I kind of remember.
Because basically...
I've watched it. But,
you're supposed to watch it like in 4-minute chunks, because every 4 minutes there's a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, it's been ages since I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it when I bought it, and I don't think I've watched it since.
Oh, actually, there was also... Sorry, I remember there was the third one as well. There was the Screamer of the Shalka, done in 2003, which was an online... There was a whole batch of online streamed things. So they weren't cartoons as such. They were computer animations, web cartoons. Yeah,
webisodes. Yeah, okay.
Webisodes. And that had Richard E. Grant as the Doctor.
Neat.
And bizarrely, It it even had Derek Jacobi as the Master.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's been loads of attempts to make Doctor Who a cartoon,
Okay.
but they've never ever come to anything.
Hmm.
There were allegedly some developed ideas in the late 90s as well, early 2000s, but then of course Russell T Davies came along and gave us the Reality War.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
Well, that's the discussion for this episode. We're talking about the season 2 finale of the 15th Doctor, titled "The Reality War." Everyone's back in this action-packed mess of an episode. There's much going on in this episode that it makes no sense at all. So let's discuss.
Right, can I come in first? Because I want to kind of
Go for it.
yeah, there is right. Trying to think how to put this without getting this into legal hot water.
Right. That's exactly like I just don't know where to even start with this.
Right.
It's such a mess.
The internet has been, since it was broadcast, awash with rumors and speculation
Mhm.
about how this episode ended up as it did.
Mm.
The only things that are seemingly known for sure come from two verifiable sources. Okay. We know that there were reshoots done a significant amount of time after the episode finished, because basically the production team was seen filming at that house that we see at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Now, no one knows how much was reshot, what was reshot, or anything like that, but we do know that there were reshoots.
Yeah.
And the other thing that is definitely known was accidentally leaked by Disney. Because Disney put out one or two publicity images for the episode featuring scenes that really were not in the actual episode. And it ties in with a leak of the plot that was on Reddit quite some time ago. And the leak of the plot that was on Reddit does not match what we saw on screen, but it does match these publicity images. So no one has come out in the open and said this is what happened, but it is known that there were major behind the scenes things.
Mm.
And yeah, although Shooty has come out and said certain things, there is the deep suspicion that he has come out and said certain things that he was contracted to say and that were not necessarily true.
Mm.
So yeah, that's just a bit of kind of background as to what is known to have been going on. I will not go into the other rumors about kind of, why there were reshoots and everything like that, because again, nothing is verified, nothing is provable.
Yeah,
but,
my guess is it was even worse than what was aired.
When we've stopped recording, I might whisper in your lugole. Yeah.
I don't even really know where to start with this episode. It's madness.
It's certainly an interestingly structured episode.
Yeah.
Bizarrely, Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor, has stepped into the fray and said what is on a lot of people's minds. He says that modern Doctor Who feels like an extended trailer, in that you get the gist of what's happening, but
no substance.
There's no substance and large amounts of... Because, of course, at the end of Wishworld, we got the TARDIS doors exploding,
right.
And then suddenly, at the start of Reality War, we are... suddenly, so at the end of Interstellar Song Contest, the TARDIS doors exploded.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Because
yeah.
Wishworld, they started off in the house.
Yeah. Wishworld, they then started off in that. So we've got no idea. We still don't know kind of, how much time has passed or anything like that. And then we suddenly, the cliffhanger is resolved very suddenly when the woman from Joy to the World appears.
One of our favorite episodes to hate.
Yeah. The fact that they then made Joy to the World an integral part of the regeneration scene is something that get your bleeper box on standby, because there are so many words I wish to say and very few are broadcastable on the podcast.
Yeah, it's just a mess of an episode. Like it makes absolutely no sense. And they threw every techno gadget that they could at it, every Deus Ex Machina they could find to throw at this episode. They threw in there. It's just like, I mean, it seems like RTD just wanted to get fired. To me, is what it feels like. It just doesn't feel like he tried at all.
No, I
Filmed this
think
one and he did.
I think, again, ties in with some of the rumors, ties in with general thing. I think that the behind the scenes stuff necessitated a very large rewrite. And what we got on screen was the result of emergency breaks being put on story arcs, emergency breaks being put on this, that, and the other. Because basically, if you, I mean, it's all over the social media, but I won't kind of detail it here because it's not verifiable. I don't want to get into the realms of kind of, stating speculation as fact kind of thing. But there are an awful lot of variations of the original ending of the episode doing the rounds. And they make a lot more sense than what we got on screen, because it was supposed to lead into a third season with Shooty.
Which we know was not happening.
Which we know now is not happening. And it very much seems like what we got on screen was basically the entirety of the third season compressed into about the last 25 minutes or so.
Okay, well, I mean, that does make a little bit of sense why it was so chaotic and jumbled.
So I've heard too many conflicting things for me to feel comfortable stating what the behind the scenes were. But yeah, what really baffled me was the inclusion of Omega.
Yeah, it seemed a little like they just couldn't find a monster that they wanted to settle on, and they just picked Omega for the big baddie, and then like turned him into the worst, biggest monster they could.
Yeah, because cast your mind back to season 1, and you remember they did those Tales of the TARDIS. Well, one of them was the Three Doctors, which was the first Omega story.
Right.
And so if you watch the Three Doctors and then you watch this, you think, what the fuck? That Omega? Yeah. Were there 2 Omegas?
Right.
And also, of course, ignoring the whole extended universe stuff, Omega cropped up in the 5th Doctor era as well, vaguely coherently with the 3rd Doctor story, the Three Doctors. But yeah, nothing in this episode tied in with anything we'd seen on screen.
Right. And it's a very weird.
Yeah. It doesn't help either that it did seem to be a virtual rerun of Sutek.
Yes. Very much. Yeah.
The Rani being dispatched so ridiculously easily.
Yeah. That a little sus to me.
Well, one of the Rani dispatched.
Yeah, because this, of course, opens up very interesting questions about the 14th Doctor, the David Tennant one that is living out life of luxury with Donna and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the new version of the Rani is dead, if the character ever comes back and it's established that it's the Mrs. Flood one that's regenerated into the new one, does that mean that Donna is going to one day wake up and find someone other than David Tennant sleeping next to her?
There's a possibility. I would not see why after by generation they couldn't continue to go on to regenerate again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
And,
It would be a stupid thing because that would mean I would assume that would mean that the Doctor could never regenerate again, and we've already seen that the Doctor does regenerate
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
this episode. So to me, that says that the bi-generated twin can also regenerate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we've hit on here, it's definitely a problem with these last two seasons, and it's been a problem on and off since the 2005 reboot began, is that they're doing all these things, but they're not kind of sitting down and thinking, right,
Planning for the future.
will this have any effect on anything we're doing later on? You know, they're basically kind of, right, let's do this season, right, that season's done, let's forget about everything we've done, we'll do the next season, yeah. The very first season with Eccleston and Billy Piper, you can kind of forgive them for doing that because they were basically kind of,
Mm-hmm.
pulling it out of thin air, making it up as they went along. But then,
Well, actually, that season holds up really well. Though.
Yeah. By the time you get to the Moffat era, there are real continuity problems and concept problems, not just necessarily from season to season, but even from story to story.
Yeah.
And I think this is a problem. First off, with modern TV, is that we've become obsessed with there's got to be a big story arc.
Mm-hmm.
We never used to have them. We kind of had
I truthfully don't care about that with Doctor Who. I would much prefer bottle episodes that resolve at the end of the episode, or maybe 1 or 2 arc, 1 or 2 story.
Right. I mean, and they did that a lot in the past. 2 or 3 episode series arc, and that was it. And then you went on to something else.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going off Doctor Who here, but Star Trek is great because so many episodes are bottle episodes.
I was about to say, we're binge watching Warehouse 13 and
I love Warehouse 13.
And it's like, they've got kind of like little plot arcs that run through, but you can easily step away for a couple of episodes and not, and that's how they used to do it in the Eccleston, that first Eccleston series. You got as long as you saw like the first episode and the last 2, that was all you needed,
Right. You could still enjoy them separately, out of order if you wanted to. It wasn't like you have.
I mean, there's literally 1/2 season of Eureka where there is a tightly plotted plot arc through everything.
Yeah.
That's the one where they're getting the spaceship ready for the jump to Titan. But all of the other seasons, it's a much looser, much lighter touch. And I feel as though we've kind of gone too far away from that attitude.
I do too.
We're trying to think, we're 15 years on from Eureka, when Eureka was like, let's show 15 years of development in our plotting structure. Like, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on a total side note, both Eureka and Warehouse 13 reference Doctor Who at least 2 or 3 times each.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the warehouse itself is very TARDIS-like.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia is a Doctor Who fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, So I think, and the problem is, Russell T Davies has been writing for things for a very long time. I mean, he wrote kids' TV in the 90s. I don't think his writing abilities have progressed.
I either. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I think, from everything that has been said on camera and looking at what hasn't been said on camera, I think, they're trying to do in 8-episode chunks what they used to do over 13 episodes and maybe spill over into the next season as well.
Yeah.
and the episodes were longer. I mean, I checked a couple of the shooty episodes. The actual episode, by the time you take out the music, the throw forward, and everything like that, you sometimes got like 40 minutes of plot left.
Right.
And they're trying to do an hour's worth of story.
Yeah.
And that's really, for me, I think
they're trying to do more like an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of story.
Yeah.
In this season, that's what it felt like. It just felt everything was rushed and jam packed in.
Well, and especially this episode. I mean, this entire episode is like, let's throw this in there. Let's throw this in there. Let's, you got this huge Omega coming out of there, and he just shoots it back into the hole. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, the bizarre thing is, for this particular season so far, I haven't even heard talk of many kind of like deleted scenes or anything like that. I mean, there was rough talk of them when Series 1 was being shown. And yeah, they did actually put out a selection of the deleted scenes, which we talked about in a previous episode. But there hasn't even really been kind of like, we delete, we shot a lot more footage for this, but it couldn't go in kind of thing, and you just got to wonder, what was RTD told by Disney about the episode length and the season lengths?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the mouse is definitely not happy with RTD at this point, because they do not seem enthused at all about the way this season went.
Yeah. We've still got War Between Land and Sea, apparently, before they will make any decision.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we still know very little about that. We know that it has a cameo from someone big in it, but we don't know anything more than that. We don't know anything about the plot or anything. All we know is really the apparently going to be shown sometime this year.
Yeah, they've been pretty good at keeping it quiet.
Yeah. This is it's the quietest I've ever known. An RTDC related thing to be.
Yeah.
But I think, if each episode had been like 90 minutes, I think the season would have been a lot better.
It would have made a lot more sense.
Definitely. Yeah. Because we would have had time for things to happen. I do think, though, that even at 90 minutes, having Unit Tower suddenly be able to rotate and fire laser beams, and it's like, oh my god!
Yeah, it's like as soon as they went into battle mode and there was this big ship steering wheel. I was like, where'd that come from, and why is that there?
Yeah, it would have been nice if things like that could have been seeded in earlier episodes.
Right.
Even if it was just like an extra line of dialogue or something that's done even like half jokingly.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly you think, oh shit, they weren't joking. It really can turn,
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing where things just happen. They're not hinted at. They're not kind of, built up to. Yeah, it was just kind of like...
The whole Bone Beast thing was just really bizarre to begin with.
Oh, they're eating up the alternate reality energy or something.
The excited atoms, yes.
Yes.
Excited atoms.
It's such a lame kind of explanation for what they're doing there.
Yeah. And then he whistles for the Flash Gordon motorcycle. And as soon as he started riding away on that, I kept thinking, Flash, he'll save every one of us.
I love you, Flash, but we've only got 14 hours to save the universe. Which in shooty style would be at least 5 different costume changes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. This is the longest he's worn a single outfit. So.
It's just somewhere there is a decent story.
Somewhere, but it's buried under a whole ton of...
Well, there's at least 5 things in this episode that could be their own storyline.
Yeah. And as I said, it ties in with this rumor, this idea that basically emergency brakes were put on everything And so the reason you've got all of these kind of separate things suddenly happening is because that was supposed to be the next batch of 8 episodes. I do feel sorry for the production team.
They're just doing what they were.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not their fault.
And let's randomly throw Jodie Whittaker in, just for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it was lovely. It was
great to see her, fantastic. But yeah, but why? Why are you there?
But yeah.
And the ramifications of that scene are really shitty, because basically you got Jodie, who spends all her time desperately trying to tell Yaz that she's got feelings for her.
Yeah.
But then 15 turns, oh, you never told her.
Right.
Huh?
Spoilers.
So the web of time means that Jodie never got to tell Yaz that 13 had feelings because 15 had told 13 that she never did.
Yes, so that completely, blocked that off from ever being able to happen. Yeah, it was.
There was a wonderful comment.
Yeah,
that someone put on social media after that, because of course the first Jodie episode with Big Finish has come out this month, called Vampire Weekend. And someone said, when Shooty said that line, you could hear the sounds of Big Finish rewriting all their scripts.
Yeah.
That was a little...
And bizarrely, of course, we're into the alternating window now. So we've got Jodie and Yaz this month. Next month, we've got Eccleston and Piper. And then after that, we've got Jodie and of course, this end sequence, which Russell T Davies has apparently says he has no idea what's going on with. You wrote it! Yeah. He said he doesn't know if Piper is the Doctor or isn't.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the episode does not identify Billie Piper as being the Doctor.
No, it says, and Billie Piper.
Yeah, introducing Billie Piper.
That's correct, yes. We already know who she is.
Right, why would you introduce her? We know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that every single other time there's been a regeneration, even when we haven't seen the regeneration on screen, but when, like, Joe Martin says it, introducing Joe Martin as the Doctor.
Right.
So, yeah, there's no as the Doctor on Billie Piper's credit.
Then why would she be the Doctor anyway?
Well, I don't think it's her. I think it goes back to, what the curator said. There's times when the Doctor likes to revisit old faces, and it doesn't have to be his own faces. I mean, we've seen that the 12th Doctor, the Doctor knew the face of the 12th Doctor from Pompeii.
It's kind of worrying that the 6th Doctor took on the face of the Time Lord who tried to assassinate the 5th Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know that regenerations sometimes result in a Doctor that the Doctor has seen somewhere before.
So, yeah, some people are saying, they should have just cut it away when Shooty's face was golded out.
And just left that as a, okay, who's going to be secret.
Some people believe that Russell T Davies is lying, and of course he knows. Everything is written, everything. Really, we are in a situation now where I think kind of like, we just have to wait.
Whoever is going to be the new showrunner is going to have to deal with it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Billie as the Doctor. I mean, she's a fantastic actress, and I love watching her.
The suggestion is that she's going to do maybe 1 or 2 episodes as a special, same as the End of Time was a 2-parter thing, and then the real next Doctor will appear at the end of that.
Well, I mean, and again, I'm not hurt about her being Doctor for a short period of time because she's fantastic.
I on the other hand think it would be absolutely bloody brilliant. So you kind of open whatever comes next with Billie Piper strolling back into the TARDIS. Suddenly she golds out again, and it's Freema Agyeman walking in.
That would be cool.
And then basically kind of like, right through, we work through all the companions' faces. I'd love to see Arthur Darvill as the Doctor.
Yeah.
That would be, Arthur Darvill as the Doctor, but with Amy as his companion.
Yeah.
About time Amy had the confused, kind of like, oh my god, I fancy the Doctor again, and it's Rory.
Now we have two lookalike Roses out there. We have three 10th Doctors running around somewhere, because we've got the alternate universe one,
Miss Doctor.
we've got the original 10th Doctor, and we've got the by-generated 10th
Yeah.
Doctor.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
Which also brings up the problem, if they regenerated and they all have their own TARDIS, is...
Well, they don't all, because the alternate dimension one is mostly human.
Okay. Does Tennant have his own TARDIS?
Yes.
So the TARDIS bi-generated, did that mean that Omega bi-generated and is riding the other TARDIS as well? Still?
The TARDIS didn't bi-generate.
Or Sutek, yeah.
Yeah. Ncuti used the power of the Toymaker to make a duplicate TARDIS as the prize for Tennant winning the ball tossing game.
Right. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I had to think carefully about that.
It's becoming like a plate of spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, does this mean that Sutek was also duplicated? In which case, there's a very pissed off dog sitting on a
Right.
But it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that I don't feel as though there's any kind of thought being given to plot lines
for the future. Yeah,
for the future or the past.
There's threads hanging out there that are going to be really difficult to tie up into.
It's the new Doctor Who sitcom, Dr. Donna.
Right.
Oh my god, Catherine Tate coming back as the bloody Doctor.
Mm.
The TARDIS would lock her out. It's like, no, I don't want her back in here. No, you spilled coffee last time.
And you don't pay attention to anything. I love Donna, but good grief, she never notices anything important.
Yeah. So I think we're kind of all in agreement that it was just a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know where to put this category wise, other than probably the most confusing and worst season finale of Doctor Who to date.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am in complete agreement.
And why does the Time Hotel door open reset reality?
Oh, it was because you're streaming real time into. I did see this. It's because the hotel exists in real time.
Okay.
The opening the doors into the Wish world actually caused real time to stream in. That's why they were trying to open as many doors as possible to make everybody remember what was going on.
Okay. That's your theory.
But the hotel shouldn't have existed because the Earth was destroyed, except it wasn't destroyed.
Right.
It collapsed into a different dimension. Oh my god! Yeah. Yeah. Let's not even get into that plot about the Earth being destroyed, because it's just like
it's very multiverse.
Oh God! Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Marvel's going to take over. Right? It's going to put the Doctor Who in the multiverse.
Yeah. Because of the whole thing that the Ronnie was doing to create the reality war, she was actually causing the hotel to become unstable.
Mm-hmm.
They knew something was going on. That's at least what the synopsis says on the Whoniverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whether or not that's what the story said, that's another matter.
Yeah, has helped a little bit with what was going on in the final episode, but not enough. Really not enough.
No. So. It needed to be 90 minutes to take us to the point where the original story ended, with the end of season cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needed to be about a 2-hour episode. It needed to be a movie.
I think, again, going on what the rumors are and everything, I think if the original version had been 90 minutes, they would have had time to do it. Possibly. In the end, they got, 65 or 70 minutes, and they had to include that last 20 minutes or so to kind of jam the brakes on.
Here's the thing I actually disliked most about the episode: the Poppy. We've got to talk about the Poppy of it all.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, she's in Space Babies,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's Belinda's child, but she's not Belinda's child, but she is Belinda's child. I don't understand that at all. It makes absolutely no sense. And named Poppy.
It has come in for a lot of criticism as well, because for the first 7 episodes, you've got Belinda, who's this really independent, very feminist, very forthright. Suddenly, in episode 8, all she wants is to have a child and be a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about the father. The father doesn't matter. Russell T Davies seems to have a thing against fathers.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah,
Because Ruby, it's just like, well, what the hell is going on with him?
Mm-hmm.
I think RTD has some daddy issues.
But I mean, it goes right back to season 1 with Rose.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, kind of like everything is daddy issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think leaving out that section with Poppy would have left time to maybe straighten up the whole story.
And that is very definitely what the rumor says was intended.
Yeah.
That everything got condensed to put on the regeneration scene at the end.
Yeah, it did not make any sense. No. How a baby we saw in Space Babies became the child of his current companion.
Yeah. Well, it made me wonder if, because they did all the cutbacks where she said, I've told you many times about poppies, and they cut back to all the other episodes where they're in those other costumes. Are those all deleted scenes from that one? And then they thought, we're not going to do the Poppy storyline.
No.
And then they decided to add it back.
That was Belinda remembering the adjusted reality,
right,
where she had got the kid,
right,
as opposed to the first 7 episodes, which was in the original reality,
right,
where she didn't have the kid. So the scenes that we saw in Reality War were alternate scenes that in the episodes that we saw was her discussing her parents.
Okay, yeah.
Right, but that makes me, because so did they put them in those costumes again just to shoot those 2 little scenes? Or what I'm asking is, were those deleted scenes from the original episode? Then
from what I can gather,
yeah,
they were filmed at the time of those other episodes being filmed, with the intention of them being the altered reality in the final episode.
Okay, that's
they filmed them then for continuity.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then kind of just dumped them in at the last.
Yeah.
And maybe that's some of the reshoots at the house that they're doing we'll see them in the future somehow, somewhere.
Let's hope not. I'm kind of done with Belinda. The actress is lovely. It's not anything against her. I'm just kind of done with that character. It made no sense at all this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was a lot of wasted potential, and I'm just kind of done with that. I don't want to see that anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. Basically, on camera, I will say, yeah, I agree totally.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I was the actress, I would be slightly pissed off about the way my companion ended up.
This is why I said that I think when Shooty made the statement, it was always going to be a 2 years and done thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he was contracted to say rather than the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Very possibly. So on that note, I guess we're all giving it 3 thumbs down.
3?
I think, given what we saw of Shooty's ass in that spacesuit, 3 thumbs up.
But yes.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Yes. But first.
Yes.
But yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know what to say about this other than I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very polarizing episode. I know a lot of people liked it.
I think those are the people who just started watching Doctor Who. Have no idea about the past and only a vague kind of notion of what Doctor Who is about.
Probably all the Shooty fans that came over when he became the Doctor.
Very probably.
Yeah.
It's very probable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, he is, a very well liked actor
Mm-hmm.
for very good reason.
And he's not going to be a very iconic Doctor because you can't dress up as him. I could be dressed as him right now.
No, yeah.
Nobody knows. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get on to some trivia, James.
Right. Because right. And I had to stop and kind of do some counting in my head because, of course, when we're recording this and when it goes out and all kinds of dates, everything, right. But when this episode goes out, we are about to hit a really interesting landmark. Okay. So this episode will be released. Was it?
It'll be released on the last day of this month.
Yeah. So basically, approximately 1 month after this episode goes out, we are going to run out of classic Doctor Who.
Run out?
Yeah. Right. This is a very long story.
Okay.
And it ties in though with we've got no Doctor Who on the horizon, and this would be a brilliant time to revisit the classic series.
Okay.
Because when I say we're going to run out of it, in September, the audiobook of Terror of the Zygons is being released. And that means that all bar one of the classic Doctor Who stories will be available as an audiobook, some of which will have been released multiple times. So, for those people who don't know, these are books. No, sorry.
There are several people who don't know.
They look like this. They're bound. They have pages that are paper and words written on them.
Yeah. So, and again, it's actually been a running theme of some of Eric's comments for the last couple of episodes about backing up and archiving things.
Yes.
But of course, when Doctor Who started, unless you literally, as some people did, sat in front of your TV set with a microphone in front of the speaker and desperately hoping your bloody family shut the up, the only way to actually revisit Doctor Who was to buy the novelizations of the episodes and read them. And this is now where things are going to get really bizarre. Okay, so this month's trivia is a kind of a mix between the history of classic Doctor Who in novels and in audiobooks. Okay, and then when we reconvene in September, we will be having the kind of the flip side of this, and we'll look at kind of like the short stories and stuff. Right. Because the first book that came out in audiobook form was Terror of the Zygons.
Okay.
And the last one to come out in September of this year is Terror of the Zygons. Right, yeah. Whether or not this was planned, I have no idea. But we're about to enter into some really, really freaky coincidences. 1978 was the release of the first 3 audiobooks of Doctor Who. But they weren't released to the public. They were done specially for the RNIB, the Royal National Institute for the Blind.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. They were read by Gabriel Wolfe, coincidentally, the voice of Sutek and all the big booming voices. And there were 3 of them. So there was Terror of the Zygons, Carnival of Monsters, and, bizarrely enough, the 3 Doctors. So from the last 2 TV series, we actually started the audiobook journey in 1978 with 2 of the baddies. They were complete and unedited. They were RNIB things. They were pretty primitive, but 1978,
Yeah, recording was not fantastic back then, especially for audiobooks.
Yeah. The first one made available to the public was in 1981, and it was a reading of State of Decay, read by Tom Baker.
Nice.
But this was not a reading of the Target novelization. So it was released twice. One of the releases was on a single cassette. One of the releases was on 2 tapes. But basically, it's Tom Baker reading a rewritten and abridged version of the Target novelization. It lasts in total about an hour, so it's about a third of the novel if you're lucky. And of course, because it was done by someone other than the BBC, the disco music at the start of it is fantastic. It is just, yeah. But that was it for a very long time. Audiobooks, they were very popular, but no one seemed to think of doing Doctor Who ones. In the mid-90s, 6 Target novels were done as audiobooks, but they were done as abridgments. They were released on a single tape each, and each of them had a running time of 90 minutes. So a step up from State of Decay. And I did the maths earlier. So I've actually kind of done a lot of statistics for tonight because it's something that fascinates me about novelizations. So Planet of the Daleks and Kinder still have about 50% of the book intact in its 90-minute runtime. Okay. Warriors of the Deep is about 45%. Attack of the Cybermen has just under 40% of the book left intact. Vengeance on Varos is a third of the book again. And Curse of Peladon has less than 30% of the book present on the tape.
Is that the one where he's on that exercise bike stuck forever? Oh, that's Curse of the Peloton. Never mind.
Yeah. Actually, it's the start of Terror of the Vervoids as well. Never mind. Why you would choose to pick something like Curse of Peladon where you've got to ditch over 70% of the book to get it onto tape? No idea.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Right. And so that I can kind of also explain why I'm putting emphasis on the audiobook side of things is because they are all still very easily available from Audible and all other places. Whereas buying the physical paperbacks of some of the Target books,
really difficult.
Some of them go for 70 or 80 quid on eBay.
Wow.
So that's why I thought if I do it based on audiobooks, then everyone can still at least get them. I'm not talking about stuff that's going to be out of people's wallet. Okay. So that was the mid-90s. It happened just after the TV movie with Paul McGann. And then, it's like, they didn't sell very well. Yeah, it's because you put less than 30% of the fucking book on the tape. Yeah.
That reminds me, that's one we need to discuss at some point.
The movie?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
That's definitely on the list of future episodes.
Right. 2004. 21 years ago. Doctor Who, in an exciting adventure with the Daleks, is released complete and unedited on CD.
Wow.
It has taken 21 years to get this range complete. Game of Thrones fans, tough. You've still got time. If we've waited this long. Right. The thing with the Targets, though, is, they were written over the course of about 15 years, and they're not written consistently, and they're not written to be read one after the other. They were released in a very random order. So, I did some kind of looking into the data. Okay. The shortest one, the one with the lowest word count, is the novelization of Planet of Giants, the William Hartnell story. But that's only a 3-part story anyway. It's also my award for the single most disappointing release. Because if any book could have been massively expanded, it was Planet of the Giants. Because when it was originally filmed and written, it was written as a 4-part story, which was then hastily edited down to 3. But sadly, very, very little of the excised material ended up in the novel, and it really is, a very straightforward retelling. However, 20,000 words or 20,600 words for a 3-part story still means that it's getting about 7,000 words per episode. So the winner for the holy shit we're racing through this trophy is The War Games, Patrick Troughton's 10-part finale. It manages to get through with an average of 4,000 words per episode. And you thought the colorization from last year was rapid.
Yeah.
However, when you look at the window of time that the War Games was released in, Target had a policy that basically you got to 128 pages and you stopped. So there is an awful to give credit. There is a huge batch from the late 70s and early 80s which are very, very brief because of the publishing policy of you'll do this number of pages, no more. And when you did go over, they then charged you an extra 50p for the novel, which back in those days was actually quite a lot.
Right.
War Games would have been an interesting one to expand. So in second place, the real wooden spoon is the Pat Troughton story, The Space Pirates, which just about hits 4,300 words per episode. Most people would have been happy with 100 or 200 words per episode, maybe 50 or 60. You'll notice that has never been rumored as an animation. It's awful. Only one episode of it exists. It is one of the slowest. The first 3 episodes are tedious. The Doctor and his companions don't really interact with anyone until episode 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even worse, episode 6, all of the scenes with the Doctor and his companions had to be pre-filmed and dropped in as film inserts because the 3 regulars were off filming and rehearsing the War Games. So basically, he's hardly in the first 2.5 episodes, and then he's all but written out of the last one as well.
Well,
some other notable ones that I kind of pulled out from the brevity side of the awards. You got Ambassadors of Death and Inferno, which are both 7-part stories. Again, if you look at the production history of Ambassadors, that could have had a whole load of extra stuff put in. Sadly, it is quite a brisk retelling, but it's a damn good story.
Yeah.
I'm very fond of Ambassadors and Inferno. Marco Polo is a 7-parter. That's also at the brief end of the scale. With the audiobooks, because they put in kind of atmospheric noises, music, and sound effects and stuff, Marco Polo has the unusual distinction for the audiobook of when the TARDIS door is being opened from the inside, you can hear them turning a handle and pushing it open. And yeah, the one thing the Target novels do not do is authenticity. You want to see some weird and wonderful control rooms for the TARDIS? Read the Target novels. In some, it has an airlock. In others, it's made of metal. In one, predating the new reboot in 2005, the indents on the walls aren't circular, they're hexagons.
Okay.
So yeah, good luck in trying to find some consistency.
Yeah.
One that's, again, brief in terms of its speed of retelling, but important to mention, The Wheel in Space.
Love that one.
Yeah, I think it's a shit story, but I'm a physicist.
It's not great, but it's
No. But more importantly, that used to go on eBay for 3 figures.
oh wow.
And we're not talking like 101, we're talking 200 or 300.
Ooh, wow.
A couple of months back, DWM gave away a free reprint of it with the magazine. eBay prices have spiraled down. Okay.
Thanks.
What you'll notice with all those is that they're all 6 or 7 part stories.
Mhm.
The most economical ones for 4-parters are both Tom's, Invisible Enemy, and Image of the Fendel, with about 5,500 words per episode. Fifth Doctor, they're all 6,000 and above. And Time and the Rani, the very first Sylvester McCoy story, is the, when you rank them in order of kind of economy, officially it is at 66, position 66, most brief retelling. But it does take an awful lot of time to tell us that the alien language in that is literally just English reversed. So you can probably take out a good few hundred words at least to kind of... Right. At the other end of the scale, hold on to your butt cheeks because this is going to get painful. Okay? Right. In 5th place, Ghostlight. A baffling story in its own right. I have whole issues with it, which I could do kind of like major rants about, and I did on Blue Sky the other night. It, being that it was a 3-part story, takes 16,000 words on average per episode.
My goodness.
Yeah. 3-part story. It's going to get worse. Okay. 4th place, The Rescue. Okay. Ian Marter. Not only was he an actor as a companion and also in a guest role in the Third Doctor era, he novelized a whole load of the stories, and he is one of the best writers. If you want to kind of, my first recommendation for a well-written and kind of enhanced take, look for the name Ian Marter on the spine. The Rescue on TV is a really fluffy, throwaway 2-part story. He gives each episode 19,000 words.
That's
Right.
a lot.
So I heard that as that slut.
That's a lot.
Right. Okay. That's only in position 4. In position 3, The Awakening, another 2-parter. It's bizarre. They've taken all of the 2-parters and made them into epics.
Right.
They've taken the 10-parter and squished it down. The Awakening. Eric Pringle, not one who wrote much Doctor Who, 20,500 words per episode. Right. In 2nd place, Terence Dudley. He wrote 3 books and he got the 2nd place. He got his own Black Orchid, lovely 5th Doctor, light, fluffy, Agatha Christie style tale. 21,500 words per episode. 1st place, The King's Demon. 23,000 words for each of the 2 episodes. Also written by Terence Dudley. The TV story, you can edit it. If you take out the recap and the theme music and everything, it's a 45-minute episode. The talking book is 5.5 hours.
Wow. Put your money's worth on that one.
And I'm going to throw in a contender for kind of best guest appearance. Because along with novelizing all of the TV stories, more or less, Target also novelized some of the unmade TV stories, and they novelized all kinds of other bits and pieces. They did a novelization of K9 and Company.
Why?
A 50-minute episode.
Okay.
The The talking book is over 6 hours long.
Oh, shoot me now.
Guess who wrote it? Terence Dudley.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, you can't judge a quality of a target novel by its length, but I do think sometimes that if you look at the words per episode, that's a bloody good guide as to kind of if you were going to have your arse bored off. Just to warn you, though, when the targets were being published, they didn't have the rights to do all of them. Some of them, they're now all being done. The more modern retellings, I'm not saying they're being expanded or anything, but City of Death, which was a 4-part story, the audiobook is 9 3/4 hours, and The Pirate Planet, a 4-part story, is 11.5 hours.
God.
I love The Pirate Planet. Don't get me wrong; it's a fun, goofy episode. Or story,
Yeah.
but how can you make it that long? I don't.
Even Power of the Daleks, which was one of the last targets to come out, which was massively expanded,
Right.
at 6 episodes, only just squeaks 9 hours.
Right.
And that's got a huge amount of other stuff in it.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, if you want my recommendations, though, I've put together. These aren't necessarily the best, but they are interesting in that they are not necessarily just straightforward novelizations. Okay. And I've done these, to be fair, I'm doing these in broadcast order so that I'm not kind of saying this is the best or anything.
Okay.
Right. Long-time listeners will realise that I've commented that there have been rights issues over An Unearthly Child, which is the first ever Doctor Who story.
Yep.
That is the one target novelisation that has not been done as an audiobook. There is a huge story to go along with that for another time. But it means that you think, oh, that means that Ian and Barbara never get an introduction. So it's very lucky that when The Daleks, the second story, was novelised, because it came out long before An Unearthly Child did, the opening was completely and utterly rewritten to give Ian and Barbara an introduction.
That's cool.
So we don't need An Unearthly Child, we can just bugger that.
Right.
And it is written first person from Ian Chesterton's point of view, and it is widely regarded, and this is one of the most disappointing things I can possibly say, yep, that was the first one ever written, and it is regarded as the best. It's downhill from there on in.
Okay.
Okay. And bizarrely, the third ever story, Edge of Destruction, crap on TV. It's 2 episodes of filler because there were issues behind the scenes. Basically, kind of like, the cast are just reading the lines. They have no idea what they're saying. They're just putting the words out. It has been hugely rewritten for a novel. It is a brilliant novel, and the audiobook, read by William Russell, is bliss. It's got some genuinely brilliant atmospheric music, sound effects, and everything. It essentially could also be the first story because it recaps the introduction of Ian and Barbara. But I really, I love that one to bits. Dalek Invasion of Earth is next on my list. Okay. Not because it is necessarily a fantastic story. Not necessarily because it is a fantastic novelization, although the opening lines are brilliant. But it's one of the books where there were production issues, and William Hartnell had to be written out for an episode because he was ill. So the novelization has gone back to the original scripts.
Okay.
So one of the really good things is a good target novelization goes back to the source material and beyond and uses kind of like the production notes, the stuff that the authors have said to expand authentically. Okay.
Yay.
The Romans, very brief book. I'm not going to say it's the longest read ever, but it's unique amongst the targets because it's not written as a novel. It's written as a series of contemporary documents. Letter from so and so to so and so, extract from the diary of. The audiobook was done during lockdown, and as such, it has about 7 or 8 different readers, and it is a wonderful experience because whereas all of the other Target novelizations, the audiobooks have either 1 or 2 readers, say this with 7 or 8 is a lovely experience. You get the real, actually this is a letter from such and such because that person is reading it. Different person reads the reply and so on. In the category of the TV story made no sense whatsoever, so we're going to try and expand it for the novel. Reality War. Comes The Space Museum. Written by Glyn Jones, who wrote the TV story. It tries to make sense of what happened on TV.
Tries.
Yeah.
Or does
whether or not it succeeds is entirely up to you. I have 1 or 2 issues with the opening where it kind of screws around with one of the characters, but to give him his credit, he's taken a 4-part run around and given it some real depth and characterization. Mind Robber, read by Derek Jacobi. Is I love the story. I absolutely adore the story. And it's taken the story and it's given it loads more depth. But it's also done something really important. The previous story, The Dominators, ended on a cliffhanger. The Mind Robber ends on a cliffhanger. They've taken those cliffhangers, totally thrown them out the window, and it now works as a purely standalone story. It's rewritten the opening to give it more depth, more background, and it's a lovely expansion done by the story's original author. Most of the 4th and 5th Doctor stories, sadly, are not expanded that much. The 6th Doctor doesn't have too much expansion. The Twin Dilemma takes a lot of effort to try and salvage the story. There's that word, try again. Towards the end, though, when you get to the Sylvester McCoy run, basically anything from season 25 and 26 has been hugely expanded upon, and really, they are now no longer novelizations. They've taken the TV as the source and built on it. I mean, other things. I mean, there's some wonderful readers. I've mentioned William Russell. Annika Wills reads a load of them. She is brilliant. Her voice is so soothing. Jeffrey Beavers reads a load of them. My best possible description of Jeffrey Beavers' voice is malicious velvet. He played the Master. And he really has his voice is superb.
Nice.
His reading of the Doomsday Weapon, it is oral sex. It is just...
Hey.
I told you there was oral coming up.
Yes.
It was an A, not an O.
Yeah. Louise Jameson and Bonnie Langford. Brilliant readers, yeah. I would, though, recommend that unless you've got a strong stomach, maybe stick to the paper version of the Happiness Patrol. Rula Lenska reads the audiobook. Her interpretation of Sylvester McCoy is something of an acquired taste.
Okay.
It's also quite a long book, so yeah. But however, to give them the credit, no one can do Sylvester McCoy accurately.
Yeah.
Which is, and it's very interesting as well, hearing all these different people, their own take. For example, John Leeson, who's the voice of K9, he reads a load of the 4th Doctor ones. He doesn't try and imitate Tom Baker. He just gives the spirit of it, and it is brilliant.
Yeah, Tom Baker's one of those voices that not a lot of people get 100% right.
Yeah. So we've had the oral part. Are we ready for some dicks?
Sure.
Terrence Dix wrote over 60 of the novelizations.
Wow.
He was writing from the start. He wrote some of the early ones in the 70s. He was writing Doctor Who stuff right up until his death a few years ago.
Mm.
You know, his output is amazing. In the 70s, basically, he was the one who was writing essentially one Doctor Who novel a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And to end with, we've got another kind of a loop back to the start thing. So remember I said that the first one was the RNIB, Terror of the Zygons, and the last official BBC one is going to be Terror of the Zygons. Well, we've actually got to loop back to the Daleks as well, because not all of the audiobooks are readings of the target novels. Some of the original authors were not happy with the work, so they've rewritten it. Stone to Blood, Androids of Tara, Warrior's Gate have all been reworked to some extent by the original authors. And Evil of the Daleks, the target novel has never had an audiobook, because a year or so ago, Fraser Hines, who plays Jamie, wrote a second version of the novel, but did it as a first-person thing from Jamie's point of view.
Okay.
So, the very last book of a classic TV story has the same gimmick as the very first, that they are first-person told from the companion's point of view. And yeah, it's, 21 years to get the range complete, but they've done it. And I challenge any other franchise to say they've put that much effort into actually going through with it and completing a project. And there will be short stories and new series stuff to come in future episodes.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, so next month we're going to be taking a hiatus for August as I'm in Chile. But
there will be a release.
Yeah.
Not going to say what it is yet, but
preempted me. I had a whole thing scripted out.
Oh, go for it then. Go for it.
Anyways, I'm moving to Chile to marry my fiance and start our life together. But fear not, because James will be doing a special episode that he'll now tease.
Yeah. Okay. Not every Doctor Who book has had a novelization done. So not as I said, every Doctor Who book has an audiobook done. So yeah, next month, to plug the gap, as is traditional with summer, we do loads of repeats and everything. So there will be a new audiobook being done especially for 3 Do Who. And yeah, congratulations, Eric. Well done on getting out of your country into a warmer place. And I don't just mean the country, I mean your arms of your fiance as well.
The place where I'm going to be going is much, much colder.
Let's face it, though, couldn't be frostier than the bloody United States is at the moment.
That's true.
At all, not right now.
So yeah, congratulations. As said, there'll be a repeat season next month where I should be doing some oral delivery, and then we will be back in September.
So, with that said, thanks for joining us on another journey through time and space with the Doctor. Remember, you can support the show by liking and subscribing on YouTube or subscribing on Buzzsprout for as little as $3 a month. You can send us an email at 3dowho@gmail.com or a text from 3dowho.buzzsprout.com. The link is at the top of every episode show notes. Please be sure that if you want to reply or some acknowledgement of your message sent on Buzzsprout, that you give us the episode and a way to name you and contact you if you wish to be contacted, as Buzzsprout does not yet offer that service for some reason. Follow us on Blue Sky, 3dowho.bsky.social, or join us on our Telegram group chat at 3doWho, all one word.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you in September.
2 months. Yeah, September.